Well, one of the first things is, I'm sure a lot of people, you're excited, you want to buy your first home, and there are all these different things that you probably don't know you need to look at. Perhaps take us through, what are some of the things that we should look out for straight away when you want to buy a home? Because I know that people at home are probably thinking, you go in, you maybe look, and you like the finishes, they look amazing. But of course, when you're buying that first home, so many things could be wrong that probably you can't even see with the naked eye.
All right. You know what, Zama? You are right, man. Buying a home should be an exciting journey, an exciting exercise, especially for first-time home buyers and existing home buyers. Buying a home is a very serious investment that one needs to, it's well thought of, and one should be careful when buying a house property. So one of the things that one should be able to look out for is historical trend of that property that one is interested in buying yet. So if you look at the historical trend, you'll see how often or how many times has that property is being sold, how long has the previous owner stayed in that property. So it shouldn't be able to fall into that trap that buying someone else's problems that's being passed on to you. And mostly important, Zama, when going into a property, it's important that it should be able to identify some of the defects that will be visible and some that are not visible. So those type of defects are normally referred to as patent defects and latent defects. So patent defects are defects that are visually be able to be seen on the properties. Once you do your property visit or viewing, you should be able to look at the properties, be able to identify items such as cracks on your windows and doors, so that you'll be able to understand that, okay, what sort of properties and damage are you putting yourself into? And latent damages are damages that one won't be able to see, like your geyser, if the roof is leaking, if there's a dampness behind the furniture where someone decided to put a couch there while during the viewing, you won't be able to identify. So those are some of the defects and some of the stuff that one needs to always be on the lookout for.
Tshepo, I actually like that you make that distinction between, the latent defects and the patent defects, because I think sometimes viewers at home tend to not know the difference between the two. Because often when you buy that first home, the patent defects will be things, of course, as you've mentioned, that you can see. So sometimes they'll put it down on that offer to purchase. But of course, once you've bought the house and you sometimes find those latent defects that sometimes even the previous owner may not be aware of. And as you're saying, you definitely don't want to find yourself having to buy, somebody else's problems. So you want to make sure that you are as thorough as possible, even in the due diligence that you do before you buy that home. Perhaps take us through, some of the defects that you might be able to spot with the naked eye, because these are things that, maybe an owner can agree to, buying a house even with those faults with it, because they think, I actually have the capacity to fix these things. I can see it. And of course, they'll probably, some of them want to use some of the PPC products, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But perhaps take us through some of the defects that you'll be able to see with the naked eye, and that you agree that, I can see that this is wrong with this property, and I still want to buy it regardless of whether, I can see the damage or not.
All right, the common property errors that you'll find is masonry wall being crackings on the masonry walls. And most of these cracks, they are either can be formed by various reasons that can be there. So a typical example will be around mostly your openings, where your property is experiencing high tensile stresses. That's where, or change in wall sizes, or change in load-bearing walls, where your walls are experiencing stress. So that's where you'll get most of these cracks are happening. And then mostly, and also in some of your floors. So if you see that the floor on its own is uneven, tiles have got cracks on them, plasters got cracks on around the plasters. Those are some of the defects that one should be able to spot. And then most important, it's very important that one should always, once you've identified these cracks, during your visit, get a professional to come and assess and evaluate those cracks so they can give you a report on the structural integrity of the property that you are building before making an offer.
And Tshepo, it's actually so interesting. As we were talking, a part of me thinks I almost need to, when you do your home viewing, there's obviously that first viewing that you typically would do by yourself or perhaps with your partner. But it's so important to go back and view that property again, because sometimes you walk into a home, you fall in love with it, and you kind of don't look at some of the things that could potentially go wrong. If anything, a part of me thinks I should probably bring, a builder or somebody who's more knowledgeable about property in order for them to help me as I view that particular property. But Tshepo, I want us to go for a quick break, and when we come back from the break, I actually want us to look at, people who then decide to buy homes that do have some of these defects. So perhaps you're buying a fixer-upper, and you can already see some of the issues that it might have. And I mean, these issues, tend to vary, whether it's something with like cracks on the wall, like you've mentioned, and things that they could essentially be able to fix by using some of the PPC products, because there is, of course, a wide range of various products that they could use in that home in the event where they want to, renovate a home that they have bought. We're going to go for a quick break. And when we come back from this, we're going to be looking at, some of the things that you can do when you do find that fixer-upper, or you've already spotted a few things that's wrong with a property, but you certainly want that specific property. And we want to hear from you at home. I mean, have you ever walked into a property, fallen in love with it, and saw certain things that are wrong with it? How did you go about remedying, some of the things that were wrong? Did you just decide, what, I'm going to buy this property regardless of some of these things that are wrong? Instead, I'm just going to make that my pet project once we, move into that home so that we fix it? Or did you decide, look, this is just too much, maybe I just need to find another home altogether? Do share that with us. We love hearing all your stories about your home ownership journey. We'll be back just after this. Welcome back to the Private Property web series brought to you by PPC. This evening we're kickstarting this web series with a special conversation about what to look out for when you're buying your first home. I know a lot of us tend to, walk into various homes that we're viewing and we become so emotional. I mean, that's going to be the place where you might make children, or perhaps a place where your children are certainly going to live. And it's probably going to be a home that you want to be able to pass down to your children and your grandchildren. So we're going to be looking at what are the things that you need to be looking out for so that you don't get yourself, buying a property that probably has a lot of issues that you are not aware of. But of course, there are also people who buy properties that do have a few issues, and they're up to the challenge of fixing those things up. And that's exactly what I want us to explore. Of course, I am speaking to Tshepo Motau, who is the Cement and Concrete Lab Manager at PPC. It's always so great speaking to people who know the science of things. And I think Tshepo's, the right person to help us, get a sense of some of the products that PPC also has to help us make sure that we make our homes something that we're certainly going to be proud of. Now, Tshepo, as I was saying, a lot of people at home probably end up buying, a property that does have a few issues, whether it's cracks on the walls, or perhaps they want to, change the wall. And there are various issues that you can find when you're buying that first home. Perhaps take us through some of the various products that, PPC has that viewers at home are able to use when they want to fix some of these issues that they encounter in their homes that they want to be buying.
All right, in terms of the products that are available, the most important thing that one needs to always bear in mind when doing your home renovations or home repairs or buying properties, that you need to take into consideration, most importantly, the amount of time that you're going to be spending on that, and also the money that you'll be spending on it. Remember that it doesn't help that one should fix their property for as cheap or as quick as possible using inferior product or low quality material. At the end, after a couple of months down the line, you must still repeat or redo the same work that was done. So it's very important to use quality products that are available in the market. For typical example, we'll give you like a PPC. Within PPC product, we have a wide range, a short range of products that are available, that can be used for a particular application, for a certain product. Those are premium products that have been engineered or designed for a particular applications. So Zama, quality is very important when going through all of those repairs and renovations. So using quality products, quality materials should be the main keys on one deciding to revisit their house.
And Tshepo, I actually love that you brought that up, because I think sometimes people at home, you're thinking, I'm spending money on buying this first property. You're going to be paying for transfer fees. You're going to be paying for attorney fees. Depending on how much the house is, you might even be paying, SARS for transfer duty. So by the time they get that house, they probably might be thinking, look, I want to spend as little as possible on this house, even though you've bought a house that you know has a few things that you want to fix, in the house, but then you end up, not buying the best products and compromising the quality of the products that you're buying. So the importance of using quality products becomes so crucial, because as you're saying, you want to make sure that once you fix some of those issues, the fixture lasts for as long as possible, as opposed to something a few months down the line, you need to fix it again. So understanding the importance of using quality products, and I'm so glad that you're pointing out that PPC has a wide range of various products that viewers at home are able to tap into, and it is of course quality products. I know that your products are very tested. Maybe take us through some of the testing that goes through, because I'm sure sometimes people at home are thinking, well, maybe products are relatively the same, but I know, because you're also the lab guy, perhaps take us through the amount of, I'll say, due diligence that you put behind your work and your products, so viewers at home know that when they use PPC products, they really are using quality products that's going to last them quite a long time after they've done whatever project that they were working on.
In terms of the cement itself, number one, a product that's being used for home renovation, home repairs, or home building, number one, it has to comply to certain specifications within our countries, within our bylaws, that are being used on a construction site, to ensure that that product is fit for purpose, for what is being used for. So it's very important that as a typical example from PPC side, as a cement producer, we invest a lot of time and money within the testing facilities, so that we ensure that our product, once it reaches out there on the market, is premium and it's quality tested and it's fit for purpose for its use. So we invest a lot of time and money in terms of ensuring quality is compliant.
And that's such an important thing, Tshepo, and I love that you're pointing out that to viewers at home, I think beyond even being able to use PPC products, in the event where, let's say, you want to buy a new bathroom, it's so important that you're also using, the right quality products, but also use a good quality team that's going to ensure that the fixtures that you put on actually put on well, because it's not enough to buy the right products, so you've got, the various products that you want to buy from PPC, but if you're not going to use the right team, then they're probably going to fault you in the, the quality of the job that they're going to do. So, but before I let you go, I certainly want to hear about any, additional tips you want to share with viewers at home when it comes to buying that first home and being able to identify some of the things that could potentially be wrong with that home, and taking them through, using various products in order to fix it. Because I think sometimes we're so intimidated when it comes to, buying our first home and identifying things that could potentially be wrong with that first home, that by the time you think about fixing certain things, you're probably so intimidated because there's so many decisions that you've made. So any final tips you'd like to share with our viewers at home when it comes to buying their first home?
All right. One of the biggest things that our viewers must always bear in mind, that, okay, visit that property before making a decision of buying. Before making an offer, visit that properties. Don't just visit the property once and make a decision from being attached or seeing the look on the properties. And also bear in mind that, okay, visit the properties, and while doing your first visit, you're going to fall in love with the properties if you like it. Second visit, make sure that you take a next set of eyes that should be able to go and view the property, so that you can be able to identify all those patent and damages. Take your time through it. Don't just rush through looking at the properties. Look at the time, get quotes and get all of that, so that you can be able to identify how much time and money so that you will be investing in terms of repairing that properties. And bearing in mind also, quality does matter. Choosing the right products, right quality, right partner that will be there for you for years and years is very key towards making sure that your home is always going to be there for your kids, your family, until the next generation.
And I love that, because when you think about partnerships, you probably think of it just in the business sense, but we also need to look at partnerships as the people that you work with when it comes to either buying your home, building your home, and ensuring that your home really does last for many years to come, and something that you're obviously going to be proud of to pass on to your children. And I want to echo what Tshepo is saying, is that visit that home as many times as you want. The estate agent is not going to say no, you can't come, because that first time we do fall in love with the place. You probably probably see where you can put that lavish dining room suite that you bought and you've always wanted a big space that you can put it in. But by the time you go with somebody, the second time, they're able to spot some of those things that could potentially be wrong. And of course, if there's something that's wrong, you have a way to remedy it. And one of those ways is by making sure that you choose quality products. And PPC has quite a wide range of various products that you're able to use that are going to meet your needs when you want to do, whether it's a home renovation or certainly fixing some of those issues that you find in that property. And of course, I did say that we've got a money saving tip certainly for you that PPC has in store for us, because they understand that home renovations or buying your home comes with so many costs. One thing that they've brought on that I'm quite excited about is their Sure Reward program. So when you sign up for the Sure Reward program, you get few rands back in your bank as you buy every bag of cement. So every time you buy a bag of cement, you're able to get some money back in your bank. So you want to make sure that you sign up for the Sure Rewards program, and we've shared the details of how you can do that down here below. And every time you buy a bag of cement, you're able to get some money back. And that's really a great way that PPC has found in enabling us to do those home renovations. And when we do buy that first home, make sure that whatever kind of job we want to do, we don't end up feeling like we're spending too much money on it. Tshepo, we're going to leave it there this evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Zama, for hosting me.
And that is Tshepo Motau, who's the Cement and Concrete Lab Manager at PPC. We do hope that you've enjoyed this first installment of the Private Property web series brought to you by PPC. As I mentioned earlier, we've got a very great series lined up for you. We've got amazing episodes coming up. One of them looks at building a home that is going to stand the test of time. And I'm sure a lot of us want to do that. You don't just want to buy a house that in 7 or 10 years starts crumbling and there are all these kinds of different issues that are going to come up with it. So you want to find out what are the various things that you need to do if you want to build a home that's going to last for quite a substantial amount of time. We're also going to be looking at, when you are doing those, home renovations, how do you make sure that you save not only money, but also save time? And I think a really cool product that PPC has on the market is what they call Ready Mix. And they've got quite a wide variety of various products, as you've mentioned, Tshepo, speak about. But they really do have various products that you're able to tap into that makes your home renovation journey easier, simpler, and you always guaranteed that you're using quality products. And a really cool tool that they've got is a PPC calculator, which I absolutely love. I'm sure a lot of us probably don't know how to do the numbers around what kind of products are we going to need when we do, the various projects. So you definitely want to get a sense of what am I going to need and maybe what's the cost going to be like. So that's a calculator that you'll be able to use in order to do that. But to find out more about it, you'll certainly have to watch some of our other episodes, because we look at some of these issues. We speak to various experts who help us on our home ownership journey. Well, until next time, it has been a pleasure to be with you from us here at Private Property. It has been a pleasure from me, Zamantungwa Khumalo. We're back again, of course, with our second episode, where we'll be looking at how to save time with your home renovation projects. Until next time, have a good evening.